What's up, Age Talent all around? This is the Dash Dispatch. Welcome back. Missed y'all last week. We had some technical difficulties. We worked around it, whatever. Hey, we're back this week. I am OSG. You know the ugly mug, you know the face, you know the voice. I've also got Andres, the dynamic Foxtrot, here with me. We're happy, we're not so happy, but here we are, Andres. And how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Same, man. First of all, apologies for not releasing an episode last week. It was mainly just a technical issue on my end. For some reason, it just happened, and we were able to get it out as soon as we wanted to. But we're back here, man. We got a couple of games to review and lots and lots to talk about.
Lots. So some things to talk about. So yeah, like we said, we haven't been here for 2 weeks, so we're gonna breeze through last week's game kind of quick because there's a lot that entails from that game that entails in this game. So we'll breeze through the discussion of the first game, and then we'll talk about the second game, and then we're gonna get into some shit because there's some shit. Some Fabrice, he's riffling.
I'm looking forward for all the crap we have to talk about. Yep.
Woo, I don't know if it's crap. I don't know if it's crap, but it is questionable. Very, very, very questionable,
Yep.
y'all. I know y'all already know what we're getting ready to talk about, but hey, all right. So, 2 weeks ago, on the road, Seattle Reign. We're up there. Lineup comes out. Let's talk Diana Ordoñez. We're going to talk more about this, like we just said in the second part. But Diana Ordoñez, personal leave, so she's on the injury list. Everybody else has returned back from the injury list, besides Chapman and those that are longer term, of course. But man, Jane Campbell gets benched. Paige Nielsen gets benched. All right, well, okay. We talked about it. We had our moment. Obviously, the recording didn't exist, so we'll fast forward and we'll push that back into the second segment because there might be a coincidence. Not a coincidence. There might be a deja vu coming up. But just get into the game real brief, man. Seattle Reign haven't won. I mean, what was the stat, Andreas? Remind me of the stat. Hadn't won, or that was the second time we won. First time in regular season, I think I don't even remember what it was, but one to
So we
nothing
did
in Seattle.
actually. Yeah. Yeah, so we actually did win in Seattle, but that wasn't a thing up until like a while ago. And our last road, yeah, I think it was 2023 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
Been a
we
minute.
pretty much haven't been in shape or like really like in Seattle. We was like playing very negatively, and for this game in particular, I was just mostly just looking like, okay, we gotta get a result out of Seattle. And when the lineups came out, I was like extremely shocked to see like our approach for this game.
That was very questionable. Like we said, no Jane, no Paige. And you're thinking like, okay, Paige, nothing. That's just Westfall getting a start, Paige getting a break, whatever. All right, Abby, spot start. We're cool. We talked about that. We just kind of run through it or whatever. But as far as the game though, man, like we said, 1-0. What a friggin' fight. It was kind of boring, to tell you the truth. It was one of those games that not many shots, not many opportunities came from either side. But finally, a goal does come, and Yasmin Ryan, who is presses wide, wins the ball, sees Gary's point to space. Gary's making her run to space, gets the ball forward, dribbles towards the box, and then just gently, not gently really, just kind of at a pace, just puts the ball on the ground to a on-running Maggie Graham. Maggie Graham with her third goal of the season already. Rookie of the Year momentum running again. Been quite a few games now. But makes that perfect run, scores a goal. Andres, take me through your emotion when that play just built up, happened, and just boom.
It kind of comes down to the right place at the right time, and it kind of just gives us some glimpses of how Maggie Graham started the year just scoring right away in her rookie season, and it's incredible. Obviously, the goal itself is not like as flashy as other goals we've seen, but a goal is still going to be a goal. The setup itself was great, and just the fact that Maggie was just like able to have enough vision to see the ball through inside the box to essentially tap it in, it's just incredible. And for her, credit goes to her as always because of the goal, third goal of the year as you mentioned, and also Ryan Gary's with her third assist of the year as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. And you say not a flashy goal, but man, it's a flashy goal whenever the more emotion, the more celebrate that you exuberate when a goal happens. That's a flashy goal. And when that goal happened, I was like, yes, yes.
I mean, and as Dash fans, all of our all the goals that we get are
Well,
flashy. But
yeah.
but yeah, like yeah. I mean, mostly just meant aesthetically speaking, because at the end of the day, like you can just create amazing 1-2 pass plays and create like insane tactical goals like that, which are just flashy enough. But
Yeah.
this one in particular, like it was a pretty good setup. I'm not gonna take away her own credit where it's due because it was a great goal.
Absolutely. And people are saying, hey, we just won 1-0. We snuck out of there with a win. You know, it's like possession was even across the board. Shots 6-3 on their side. We had more on target. Nothing was Abby Smith didn't have to question anything. Yeah, you know, we had more passes than them. Had more possession than them. And it was marginal, just 40 more passes, which is really nothing in a soccer game for 90 minutes. But it's the numbers across the board for this game and the performance across the board for this game was something that we're not used to seeing. You'll say, "Hey, Road Warriors, here we go using Dash," but we're playing a Seattle Rain that is, and the numbers just. We had a good game, man. We had a good game, and I don't know what it was. What would you put it down to? It's kind of hard, you know. I'm sorry to put you under that question because we've been very inconsistent this season, or consistent. We win one, we lose one. We win one, we lose one. We win one, we lose two. We tie one, we win one. Shit, like that. So, what would you put this game down to? The resolve of finding a 1-0 victory out of it. How did the Dash succeed?
I don't really want to call it a fluke because the team just had like a pretty
You just
good
did.
performance, and well, it's whenever we're painting the picture and we're just like detailing how it went
Yeah.
and how the Dash played well enough in the second half, it kind of looks like it, especially without their own inconsistency, historically speaking, and I want to call it a, a learning step. I'm trying to say it as best as I can, but
It's all right. Speak
well, yeah,
your
I'm kind
words.
of.
Speak your words. We're not the Inter Miami podcast.
Oh, of course, no. I mean, like it's see, there's another different game to talk about, and I'm mostly a sore, but really, it kind of comes down to how they're able to capitalize on that, and how they're able to keep up form, and just coming out after this game, I felt like they were on the right track to see how this team can just like play, especially when with a roster that's just like rotated in a way. Because we're still kind of looking forward to see like okay how we're gonna play without Jake Campbell or for our main forward core or the midfielders because we kind of see him exposed at times. And this game we played very well, and it could also just be because like Seattle hasn't been as good of a team as we've seen in the past few years. But yeah, it could be just a combination of both, honestly. So it's like it's
Maybe the
good
rain
result to
helped
take
us too.
advantage of. I guess, yeah. Like we love the rain, of course.
We do not love the rain. Sarcasm in his voice. Obviously, we're not. We're used to it, so maybe we took
Yeah.
advantage of it in their own house, and that's what it was. But OMG, get the win. Get the win. We get the win. Move up in the standings. That's a good win to have. Good win. Good building block too. We took 2 steps back the week before, and then this was a step up. This was actually, I think, 2 steps up, to tell you the truth. Even though Seattle probably played the better game overall, we put a stop to them. We scored the goal. We took the opportunity. Boom. We win the game. 3 points. All right, man. Andres, I think we have to move on to the next week, bro. To the next week.
Yeah.
Oh no, more sarcasm. All right, but hey, so we do it again. All right, let's just talk about this first. Availability comes out, and Diana Ordoñez is on personal leave again. Could be sick. There is no information out there, so this is total speculation. Total speculation from me. Total speculation, if any, from Andres. Don't know why she is missing. I speculated last week on the non-recorded episode, Behind Secret Doors episode. Is this a sign of maybe her being moved in the future transfer window because of the lack of playing time? Lack of availability, lack of production. Fabrice sees things different, hence what he's done 2 weeks in a row. But Diana Ordoñez, Andres, I want to ask you, uh, two weeks in a row. We do have a game this weekend. I'd be interested to see if she's on there again. Do you take anything from it? Are you speculating anything? Do you want to grab anything, or is it just nothing? And maybe she's sick. Maybe I don't know. IDK. Let's hear from the Foxtrot.
It's really concerning because if it's something that has to do with like personal leave or something like that, we could just know right away. Like if there's something going on with the family, or just taking time off, or to deal with whatever. And I mean, it's already been a while, and we've kind of seen early on that she wasn't just getting that starting role that I'm guessing like all the players want to keep over time. And granted, she's been coming off the bench early in the season, but just as she's gone and not being able to see a lot of playing time, it could just be a painting on the wall already, and whatever it's written. And I mean, it could just be her time to find a different team. Maybe like she's not really invested into what Fabrice is doing, and she feels like she could have a better role somewhere else. And like you said, it's just a speculation at this point. I'm just making an educated guess based on what I've seen so far, and I'm mostly concerned. I mean, if we can get something in return, I'm definitely gonna take it. But I feel like it could have been a piece that could have been utilized in the right situation.
Is she a so specific type striker slash forward? It's I question it. North Carolina had her rookie season. She scores 9 goals or 11 goals the entire season in all competitions, and then they trade her to us like the season after. So, and then she scores her goals, but it's not enough, and we're not winning, so it doesn't translate to anything positive really. So is she just a systematic forward that needs the correct place to play in? And right now North Carolina or Houston were not that situation. Remember, Ordoñez left, Fabrice came into North Carolina. So same system here. Fabrice comes in, and now he's not using Ordoñez at all, or barely at all. So I think maybe she's just a systematic striker, and she doesn't fit Fabrice. She doesn't fit the style. Maybe she's still struggling through her injury. I don't know. Like we said, speculation, all speculation. But I do wonder. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to question it. We're here to look into it. We're here to dive deep, and we'll see. We'll see. If we see her walking around with the girls after the game, I haven't seen her in the tunnel lately either. So there's we'll see if she's at the stadium. Some of them girls, when they're injured and they're out, they're still at the stadium, and you still see them behind the scenes. So I'm looking for you, Diana. I'm looking for you. But all right, man. So next one, big one. Jane Campbell is benched again, 2 games in a row. We talked about this behind the doors last week. Maybe it's just a spot start for Abby Smith, and like, cool, we need to do that anyways. Give her time. Jane doesn't need to start all 26 freaking games all year. You have a second keeper. That keeper doesn't need to get experience just in case there's an injury. That she's ready to play. She's familiar with the team and good to go. But now 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row, and Fabrice said he's going to play the player that looks better at practice. So I don't know what to say about this, man. But whoa, what are? Yeah, I can see. What are you? Tell me about it, bro. Just tell me. Just give me your emotions on the Jane Campbell being benched 2 games in a row. And hook him, Abby.
Interesting. It's probably short selling it because I feel like at this point Jane was gonna get the start, and it's granted it's very good that Abby got that type of result in Seattle because it's very or really gives out a lot of confidence when a player is able to come off the bench and not only help with the win but also maintain that clean sheet because in the goal differential it could play a role and down the road. But
yeah,
we're looking just coming into this game against Portland. You're just kind of guessing, okay, Portland, even though like we kind of talked a little bit about it when we were previewing the game in the recording that wasn't posted. We're just saying that okay, even though Portland's kind of like in the middle of the road right now, they're still a high scoring team or just like a team that's just able to find goals in the right circumstances, and we need our starting keeper here because things can go south very quickly. And I was somewhat concerned if Abby wasn't able to maintain that form, but yeah.
Well, let's get into the game. What do you do when your opponent puts 14 shots on you and half of those are on target? And you're like, when you see that number, you're like, oh, wow, I wish we could shoot that way. Because when you look at stats, it's usually 10, 12 shots and 3, 4 maybe on target, and this is 14 and 7. This is 50% shots on target. Putting the keeper in situations. And I do want to say, here we are. All right. Let's get into the game. We lost. 4-1. Portland scores all 5 friggin' goals. We don't even score.
Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. Horrible performance. All right. So lineup was basically exactly the same as the week before, with the 1-0 win in Seattle. So hey, I think you kind of mentioned it. I like it. Let's go with momentum. That was a lineup that worked. Cool beans. Yeah, bro. All right. Yasmin Ryan took a black eye. She is now out for this game. So that means you got to incorporate somebody else. Barb gets to start. I'm cool with that. We said Barb deserves a start, needs to be a start. Maybe as a striker, we said Barb should start. But Messiah Bright goes back to the starting lineup in this one, and she starts. And Barb takes that kind of, her ram position, right, attacking midfielder, winger role, or whatever the heck it is. But, man. So I was optimistic about this game going into it. It's still Portland. They're a thorn in our ass, as they always are. Hence their friggin' nickname. It really is. But
Literally.
yeah, dude, no kidding, man. But I was hopeful. looking forward to it. It did take 26 minutes for Portland to score, but they were in charge of that game prior to that 26 minutes. And then after that, they did bang, bang. And then right before half, a damn penalty kick, and they scored the penalty kick. I don't think that was a penalty kick, but let's just talk about the first half, and then we can remiss the penalty kick. But first half, man, that was just kind of embarrassing. Portland controlled it. And where was the defense? Andres, did you see the defense in that first half? It was so unorganized.
According to the lineup, we had defenders out there, but it kind of looked like not they didn't show up and on the field. And you kind of alluded to that early on when we started talking about the game itself. It's whenever we have a team that's offensively overwhelming us, it's gonna be really tough to contain them unless something weird happens with their momentum and they just like start playing back, or we just start adapting into the game. We never adapted into the game.
Nope.
And Portland was just able to do whatever they want. Literally, they just like kept pushing on and on and on and on, and I'm like, it's gonna be that type of game, like vintage dash, where we're just gonna let him take it, and they're gonna run away with the result. And the first half, I wasn't really given a lot of security if the team was just able to get to adapt or grow into what was going on. And Portland, and credit to Portland, just because they were just like able to figure out how to play against us. And because in the last recording that we did that wasn't really posted, I was kind of just concerned either way. Like I wasn't as scared as I was in the previous years because Portland was just like dominating a lot. This year, like I said before, it was just they were just like middle of the road, middle of the pack. We can probably just get a good result here and get it done with it. But Portland was just like, we know how to play against you, and we'll show you how. We're gonna put all these goals against you, and as a discount, we're gonna give you an own goal, so you don't have to score it. It, and I know what you're talking about, like the first half and all that, but it just felt like so discouraging to see the Dash just play like that and not do anything about it.
Nothing about it, bro. Nothing about it. And what's disappointing to me, tactics, bro. Tactics. And Fabrice, I'm gonna call you out on this one. Sorry if you're listening, but you against Seattle, you didn't push the envelope forward. You sat back. You played that 5 defenders, Patterson and Gary's. They were more back than they were forward, and you still tried to create offensively when you could. But this game, you tried to create offensively. Granted, you're at home, and you should be able to be punishing at home, and you should be able to be controlling at home. But you tried so much to go forward, and then Portland stunned you and out tactically tactics you, and you didn't adjust fast enough. I mean, 26 minutes was the first goal. After the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm making changes already right there. I'm evaluating what happened in the first 15 minutes. Granted, that doesn't display the entire game, but I'm looking how did this, and then I'm making changes, and if I can get back to hold of the situation, then I go back to where I was trying to play earlier and see if we could succeed. But he did not. He failed. He went with that possession base, trying to attack, couldn't affect the counter, couldn't affect the press, and just stuck with it, and it failed 26-30. And then 15 minutes later, we give up a damn penalty kick. The penalty kick was, to me, was BS. The ref did not call it at the moment. Went to VAR, took 30 minutes to check it, and then decided to call it. Come on, girl, you idiot. Believe in yourself. There was nothing there. I don't even know what the heck that was. BS. So that was just a stunner, just to take us in at half 3-0. 3-0, of course, is a lot harder to come back from 2-0, man. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me about it. Dude, it was.
I'm trying to formulate something because it's just completely embarrassing how we just come out of a decent performance and we just like face plant on the ground like this. And like it's kind of just like still upsetting because we were able to even up possession and at least like get some shots on goal, but Portland was just so overwhelming that it felt like there's not much we could do about it, other than to try and find a way to break through their defensive line. And those opportunities were pretty rare as far as I've seen. We tried to open up the game, but it was just like Portland was just like 4 steps up in front of us, and yeah, like it's just really everything I kind of said about keeping us staying consistent with the type of lineup that we have, especially coming out of a pretty good performance with the lineup that we still have from that game. It's kind of like I guess it was all for nothing.
All for friggin' nothing, dude. That was just, man, a home game, too. That was just, man.
Now all the
All
Houston
right,
teams
but
love to lose at home.
yeah, it's incredible. So another factor that I think affected the game and affected this team a little bit, and Fabrice, bro, Fabrice. All right, Paige Nielsen doesn't start for 2 games in a row now either. Paige Nielsen had done nothing wrong all season. Gives her body out every friggin' game. She's a beast. Just does what her team asks of her, what her badge asks of her. And if Fabrice wants to bench her twice in a row, Westfall's done nothing wrong either at the same time, but Westfall's not Paige Nielsen. Natalie Jacobs returns back to the lineup. That's who you can say replaces Nielsen, goes to the bench because of Jacobs, but you keep Westfall in. I'm putting Westfall back on the bench. I'm sorry, Westfall. You're experienced, but you're not Paige Nielsen. Paige Nielsen is a stud and gives it. Sorry, you all give it all. You all give it all. She does so much more. Sorry, Westfall. Man, trying not to dog her at the same time, but because Christina Westfall's not done nothing wrong. She's done a good job, but Paige Nielsen brings a different aspect to the game to be respectful. She will throw her body at you and do it without committing a foul or a penalty. So, Andres, what were your thoughts when you saw Paige Nielsen on the bench for the second time in a row to start this game? And then you watch the game, see how the team performs, where the defense gives up those goals, is my opinion. You needed Paige Nielsen on there. Paige Nielsen does come in late, but they don't score. I don't know if that's coincidence. They did park the bus by then.
It's kind of like what I said about Jane Campbell. Would you need that type of experience there? And if the fire is already burning and you need to make some like second half adjustments, it was very uh like it was really just I really like didn't see how it made sense to like do it in the 61st minute to like at least sub her in because I feel like she had to start that game. And
Yeah.
you could argue, okay, maybe she didn't do well in practice. She's been one of our best players in the past 2 years, because in terms of consistency, and she's been able to help out as much as she could. And granted, last year was not like we were not in a pretty good situation either, just as a collective effort overall. But this year we've already seen what she does, and it's okay if she gets to sit like 1 game to rest, and we get to rotate players to see what works. It worked in Seattle, but it's not guaranteed to work again in all the situations. So it was just like she kind of had to start, and at worst, or at least we could have just sub her in to start the second half because we're still like 2 goals behind. We can still get back in the game and try something new. And what I was just like very surprised by is just like we haven't really made all this any substitutions in the second half, and we just waited for like 60 minutes or like the 60-minute mark to do that. So it was just like we're just gonna wait for everything to come in, and we're gonna wait all the way until the fourth goal to start making substitutions. So it's kind of like, what is this enough? Okay, 4 goals behind, let's
Seven
score 5. See what happens.
7 minutes after the fourth goal is the triple
Yeah,
change, or the first three
absolutely insane.
subs. 7 minutes after the first goal. Yeah, Paige Nielsen comes in for Westfall. Lozia comes in for Bright, and Doljan comes in for Grant. The first three subs. All right, yeah, I'm agree with you. Paige Nielsen should have came in at halftime like she did the week before. Yeah, that he did make that sub. Westfall comes off at halftime against Seattle. Paige does a good job. Why Paige isn't starting, I don't know. Go check out Sierra Nielsen's, or yeah, I don't remember that's her last name right now. Sorry. Go check out Paige's sister Sierra on her Twitter. She questions it too. Why is Paige should be starting? Fabrice, Paige starts. Westfall comes off the bench. Westfall security. Okay. Thank you, sir. I hope you get my memo. All right, man. Alozia, I like coming off the bench. She brings in a bright, a nice, what is it? Engine rev off the bench. So I like what she does and what she brings off the bench. So continue
Yeah,
to use
juice.
her in
Yeah,
that role. Yeah. Absolutely, juice right there. Exactly. Doljan, perfect, good. I wish that girl get a start and you could see what she could do from the start, because I would love to see what she could do from a start, man. 30 minutes just isn't enough. While I'm looking at it, Portland plays Sophie Hurst against us. She didn't start, but she did come in. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody's like, Sophie Hurst. I was like, I know. She played, what, 4 minutes for us? No. She did more. We had a lot of hope for her, but she had to go. But Kiki Van Zanten, debut this year, finally makes it in 73rd minute, gets 17 minutes worth of playing time, almost scores a friggin' goal, just misses. She hurried it, she hit it just right, but just to the right of the goal. That would have been so beautiful if she would have just knocked that in, bro. But
yeah.
man, so
That was
what
probably
else
the
you got
best
for
highlight of the game, if you could call it that.
Yeah, that's
Oh
a
yeah,
better
like it's.
highlight than
I
the
was gonna say
deflected
that.
goal.
Yeah, of course.
But hey, Kiki Van Zanten, does Mark love Kiki Van Zanten?
Yes, always.
Hey, Mark, she almost scored. It wouldn't have been for you. It would have been for the badge and would have been for the team, but she almost freaking scored. But Sarah Puntgam getting more minutes now. Instead of like 4 minutes, she got 18 minutes plus the extra time, of course. So that was good to see. The build up of Logia on that right wing pushing forward. She was trying to get a cross off, and it deflected off the defender's thigh, and the keeper was coming out to look like she was going to intercept that cross, but it took that deflection and went in the goal. The keeper couldn't come back for it, so I'll take the goal, like you said, no clean sheet, but I wish we could have done more, bro. I wish we could have done more,
Yeah.
man. What is your final takes from this 4-1 defeat? We're one step forward, we're two steps back again. We're trying to get to that 500 mark, and we're still slacking there before we get into the NWSL Roundup. But final thoughts, final impressions, final expressions for this game is in the 4-1 defeat for the Houston Dash.
It's still absolutely concerning to me, and it's obviously things can change game by game, as as all sports all sports works essentially, because
There you
like
go.
you can have a bad day, you can also have a good day. Like for this game though, it was just like we applied so many good ideas. I've been harping on consistency, consistency, consistency. We don't we still struggle to string good performances in between games. Like there's no way for us to have 3 good games in a row. As far as I'm seeing, I haven't seen that in like forever. And I know that Fabrice is still like a pretty good new coach to us that's applying the system still, but we've been here so many times with the dash. It's just like, okay, we get that you have all these good ideas to rotate out. We have to rotate players eventually, but we have a decent performance against Seattle, and then it's just like we get destroyed by Portland, and whatever happens in the next game, it's just like what's gonna happen next after that, and after that, it's just like, and it just feels like for us, like there's just a matter of like it could just be we're not lucky enough sometimes, but then we see the way we play, the way the head coach is just like doing like adjustments to the game, which it could just be like a hit or miss. It's just like we're so confused as to what's gonna happen. And like one of the things I want to mention is just like I forgot who said it on Twitter, but it was just like not just the Dash but also Dynamo and like all like for the past few years, like we see this team perform at home in front of us playing like crap, and it's gonna become a hard sell for a lot of people, especially the casual fans that don't really like watch any sports in Houston unless they're doing pretty good. And it's really hard to like also make new fans out of that. So that's why we see attendance the way it is right now, because no one outside of like dedicated soccer fans and hardcore fans like us, they just want to support the team. But I know there's like a lot of things going on at the same time right now, but it's just like there's a reason why the league looks like us like we're just like a hit or miss team. More misses than hits, honestly. And it's because we can't really put consistent performances, honestly. Like it's just like we're gonna mess up eventually, and there's nothing we can do about it. So it's yeah.
And
Hopefully we do well next time. We'll see.
and that's crazy to even look at it, because you know the potential of these players and how they can play and why they play, and you see how they play against like Seattle. We have a couple other wins this season, and then you perform like this, and then you're watching the game and you're like, those mistakes, like, oh my god, like, you should know what to do. You should know where your next play is. You should know where your next pass is. Sometimes they just look so slow in trying to build up that attack. It's incredible. Like, you know where your players are, bro. If you're Ryan Gary's, you know she's hugging that friggin' line on the far left. You know she's out there. Know to go there next. Yasmin Ryan is all. Messiah is making runs. Like, sometimes these girls just look like they just forget. They don't anticipate. They're forgetting to anticipate. To put those two words together, they're forgetting to anticipate the next play and what the next move is, and they're forgetting their basics. Is what I come down to sometimes. Like, girls, it's a struggle sometimes. I'm no professional soccer player, obviously. Look at me. I'm sitting right here with this fucking what's that dude from Sesame Street? Beaker. I'm looking like Beaker right now. Like, so
Big Bird, yeah.
no, not Big Bird. Oh, maybe Big Bird too. Then
I know. You kind of look like Big Bird, but I know what you mean. Or Beaker too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's just incredible, bro. Like, so we know we have the IQ to perform better, and some of those, it's just sometimes the plays just look like they're lacking that IQ. They don't. They're missing the congeniality between whatever the word is I just said. You know what I mean, but the camaraderie amongst each other, the team, the it should rotate together in a unison, and it just feels like they don't know where each other's at. And I will put that on Fabrice. That should be on Fabrice at practice, drilling that in. And I don't care if you have to go back to basics. with a bunch of new professional players. They are professionals. They know how to play soccer, but stick with the basics and stick with the basics of the tactics of the game and focus and focus and focus and focus and enforce it so they know where each other is and each other are. So small games don't translate to 11v11 when you do small games all the frigging time. So I need to see something different. We need to see more consistency. And I know Dash fans here listening to this episode and there at the game watching it and commenting on Facebook and Twitter and X and Instagram, like they're frustrated. They're frustrated right now. There's a lot of potential there. At least we're not so frustrated as we've been the past couple of years. We're playing decent, so we've got potential. Fabrice is young, shows potential, but every young coach does make mistakes, so we'll just have to talk about it. We'll have to ask him about it, which is on me, and we'll see if things can get better here in the long run. You know, parity in the NHLs. In NWSL, you're still close to that playoff line. But, Andreas, all right, so anything else you'd like to say about this game and those last two games before we move on to the roundup and previewing our next opponent?
I mean, like, I kind of said a lot, and I can still say more because it's more of the fact how the state of the dash, as always, we like to talk about every year. But well, yeah, it's extremely concerning. I like to say so. We have to move on.
All right, moving on. NWSL Roundup. So from last week, from the week before, the only game that I do want to bring up was North Carolina is still, we mentioned them with some good wins this season, as we do bring up the schedule every week and keep you in tune with the standings. But North Carolina at home hosted Orlando to a 1-1 draw. And that was the game of the week. Orlando saved their ass in the 93rd minute to pull the draw back. So, whew, way to go, Orlando. Good for you. But that was the game I wanted to bring up from the week before. Now we move forward. Gotham. I was positive on Gotham, but now they've lost 2 weeks in a row at home to San Diego Wave. Wins 1-0. Of course, we lose 4-1. The game of the week, the most anticipated game of the week, Orlando hosts to Kansas City Current. Kansas City Current wins that one 1-0. And who other than Chawinga, the 52nd minute. 1-0 goal, bro. What a winner, chicken dinner. And if you watch this game, and if this game did go back and forth, defenses are still solid, and I do like how both these teams just take opportunities and take chances out of what they can. Some of them come on goal, some of them don't, but they're opportunities and they're shots and they count. And we need to see more of that from the Houston Dash, because teams that score show you the key, show you the blueprint, man. So I don't. Do you see that Orlando, Kansas City? They just create shots and take shots. And granted, they have better players than us offensively, but you got to agree, man. Like, they just take the opportunities when they see in front of you. Just take a rip, please. It may not be in your genes, right?
Especially now, we need all the chances we can get. But well, these are the best two teams in the league, so it's kind of a high bar.
Yeah, it is a high bar. So moving on to Saturday, Racing lost to Seattle Reign 1-0. So Seattle goes on the road and wins in Racing. I think that's like their third road game in a row too, which is incredible because they lost on the road coming into not Seattle, Portland lost on the road. Not lost, they tied on the road and scored in the 98th minute, I think, on a penalty kick to salvage their game.
Insane.
Yeah, coming to Houston and then do that to us. North Carolina, who we just mentioned, of course, they're playing Chicago, but they went 2-0 at home. Washington Spirit what the heck's going on with Washington? If you want to fight them, they're going to fight with you, but you're going to be able to take some punches in. Washington 3-3 against the Utah Royals. 3-3, bro. 3-3. Nuts. All right. Our next opponent, Bay FC, which is a surprise to me as well. 2-0 at home against Angel City. That one, I like, huh? Okay, whatever. And then I went and I looked at the stats just for real quick. Angel City was the better team. Angel City looked better. Just couldn't do shit about it. So, sucks they lost. They got their butts kicked, and now that team gets to come on a high note coming into our house. But before we mention them, I want to talk about the table. Kansas City Current are now in first place with 21 points. San Diego Wave second place with 17 points. You heard it right. San Diego Wave in second place with 17 points. Orlando Pride is falling to third with 16 points, and now 3 losses all of a sudden. Banda, what's going on over there, girl? Portland moves up to fourth, tied with Orlando. Who cares? Washington with that tie falls into a tie with third with Orlando and Portland. Seattle is in there. Angels in there. Gotham somehow. We keep talking about Gotham losing, and they're in 8th place, and they're in the playoff friggin' spot. So I don't know how that happens. Houston Dash, we're in 12th. We got 10 points. The line is 12 points in 8th place. 12 points. So we're 2 points behind a Gotham team that keeps losing. North Carolina's in 9th place with 12 points. They should be in 8th automatically just because they're the better team. Bay is in 10th with 11 points, 1 point ahead of us. That's our next opponent, man. So looking at this game, Saturday, 4 o'clock. It's going to be nice and warm on Saturday at 4 o'clock. The sun's going to be kind of right above us. You're going to have a little bit of a glare for some of you fans at the stadium, but I hope y'all show up. But Houston Dash hosting Bay FC. Andres, what are you expecting to see on Saturday?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I want to be, I want to be as optimistic as possible. And I guess the good news I could say is that we're gonna see a new starting 11. There's absolutely no way we see the same one.
Can't be.
But yeah, it cannot be, honestly. And I was just more so focused on how we're gonna try and open up the game in our favor, because we did have some good ideas early on the season, but now it's just a matter of how are we gonna do it.
Look, Bay's 1-1-3 on the road. 1-1-3 on the road, which is good news, I guess, for us. Per se, I guess. But at home, where are we? We're 1-1-4 at home.
Yeah.
Embarrassing, dude. Embarrassing. We're not Chicago Stars, 0-4, but we are embarrassed. 5 goals for, 11 goals against, 1 win, 1 draw, 4 losses at home, dude. Fuck. Just play all our games on the friggin' road, bro. Just on the friggin' road. And Bay FC, just so other people, they played 5 games on the road, 1-1-3. They've scored 4, given up 9, -5. So there's no telling where this game can go. There's a lot of potential there for a win. There's a potential for a loss. There's a potential for a draw, actually, is where the money would go. Actually, is there a bet on this friggin' game? Hold on, let me see. Friday, Saturday, Houston Dash. Who will win? Oh, wow. Bro. 68% to Bay. 27% to Houston.
Of course.
5% draw. And I would have put my money on a draw. And it looks like this game is on CBS Sports, NBA, NBC, NBA, like all the California networks, Paramount. So you get to watch it if you're not going to be at the stadium. It's a Dash game at 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then a watch party later for the Dynamo at 9:30. So you have time. Go to the stadium. Don't worry about the weather, by the way. The shade will be enough if you're on the west side of the stadium.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be good. Obviously, bring your sunscreen because it's gonna be a nightmare. Well, we're obviously if you're from Houston, you know how to prepare, but just
Yeah,
make sure you're ready because it might just and stay hydrated. That's what I'm gonna say. And if you can make it, like OSG said, it's gonna be in a handful of networks. Even if you don't have like a Paramount Plus subscription, it's gonna be an NWSL Plus, so you should be able to watch it for free.
absolutely. And hey, I just want to give a shout out to Houston Sports Images.
Mm-hmm.
She and her crew is at every game, every Dash game, every Dynamo game, at all the practices. You can follow her on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Some girl on Twitter, Instagram. All those Houston Sports Images. Just follow her, check her out. You get to see the images. You get to see photos. You get to see if there's a player missing or a player not missing from practice. Go check it out. She does a really good job, and she does some good action shots too as well. Andres, man, I think we made it through the roundup. I think we made it through the episode. We're disappointed Paige isn't starting. I think Jane should probably get the start back again. Kiki back in the lineup. I would like to see Zoe back in the lineup or on the bench actually. But anything you want to say, anything you want to shout out, and then if you'll just segue into telling people where to find us and why have we not hit 300 subs yet on YouTube?
It's yeah, man. It's very very interesting, but we're so close. But before I get to that, obviously the answer to your question is Evelyn Adoljan. Just start already.
Please.
Come on. I mean, I mean, not much we can lose at this point, but still, still some season to go.
I Hey,
But
say
yes,
so sorry. Oh man, this is gonna hurt with the fans. Maggie back to the bench. Still Jean, give her the start for this game. Okay? I mean, that's kind of the position she's got to play anyway, so I mean,
yeah,
maybe not, or Sheehan and Colaprico started every single game almost together back and forth. So maybe one of those can take a seat one just to start the game. Let's see what Evelina can do from the start. But yes, sir. Continue.
yeah. I mean, it's a we're dealing with a blank canvas now, so it's just a matter of setting up a new team to get a win against BFC, and we'll see how they set up and get the result because we only have one win at home so far, and it's just like okay, that this is probably why we're outside of the playoffs, but oh well.
This is probably why we only have 5,000 fans. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man. God. We invite them. They want to come. They're intrigued into coming, but they're like, why? I don't want to come and spend 40 to 60 bucks on food and drinks to watch this team lose. And lose 4-1 in a horrible friggin' game where you're booing at the time, or booing the ref for the bad penalty call. But you know what? When you pride comes first. So you go to the games, you enjoy the game, and you just whine about it when we do lose, and you deal with it. And we move on. We gotta hope for the wins next. But here we are. Here we are, Andres. We move on. We're next Saturday, 4 o'clock. But man, let's let these people go. I know we two games, 52 minutes into the episode. I think we did a good job of just kind of breezing through it. We'll talk more next week after we hopefully get a friggin' dub at home against Bay. Well, especially if we get a win, we'll get some mixed zone players. Uh, but Andres, tell the people where to find us, how to find us, and why they need to subscribe to us, I guess, on YouTube. They don't have to hit the damn bell, do they?
it will be nice, but we just wanted to subscribe. And if you hit the bell, we definitely appreciate that, so you don't never miss an episode or whatever we put up on the channel.
Foxtrot
But yeah,
TV.
like OSG was yeah, Foxtrot TV. What OSG was alluding to, we are only 2 subs away from 300 subscribers, and I know one of you guys is watching. That's not subscribed yet, which is fine, but please subscribe now. Well, it's been a slow process for some reason, but we are here to start the giveaways that we've been promising. We're just waiting to hit 300 subscribers, and we can get that as soon as possible. And the subs help a lot. It helps the algorithm, and also whenever you like all the videos that we put out, which we do appreciate, and comment as well. And yeah, Foxtrot TV, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell if you want. But we definitely appreciate the support as always. Uh, you can either watch us there or also Ghost TV, which is another platform we use along with other soccer content creators like us to post our own content. It's a great way to look for other smaller creators, and it's gonna be goals.tv spelled with a C towards the end. And we have a profile there at Dynamic Foxtrot, so check it out as well. Social media, of course, we're on Twitter, now X, with the handle at Dynamic Foxtrot and at No Tiempo. We also have profiles on Instagram and Blue Sky. They're gonna be at Dynamic Foxtrot. So make sure you're staying tuned to those profiles. Make sure you're following so you don't miss an update. And yeah, we'll be here all season long, especially whenever you're listening to audio. Just look up real time. We're gonna be posting all the dash dispatches there as well.
Hey, and this week's Foxtrot game day will be kind of a mix. It'll be the game day from the stadium, Houston Dash against the Bay FC. And then as well, I will follow up from the game after the press conference in the mix zone. And I'll hit the watch party and watch the Dynamo. So it'll probably be a combined Foxtrot game day. But, follow me on my trip to Houston this Saturday to enjoy the Houston Dash and hopefully get a victory, and then the Dynamo against San Jose, as I'll be at the Phoenix on Westheimer for the 9:30 watch party with Surge. So I'll look forward to see y'all at the stadium against the Dash or at that watch party. Check us out or just watch us on Foxtrot TV as I just, show you my experience along the trip in Houston. And anybody else that's there with me, I don't think that Foxtrot's going to be there with me this weekend, but hey, y'all will know when he's there because you'll see him in the damn videos. He will be there, but but like I said, we'll have a good time, and then I guess that's it, Andres, man. That's the final word. We're 56 minutes on the dot right now. This is the Dash Dispatch. I think we went beyond. Actually, we didn't tonight. Beyond would have been 2 hours, right? Because it was two games to review, but we
Go beyond enough. Yeah.
go beyond. We did go beyond, but hey, all right, Andres, the dynamic Foxtrot. Hey, did you see my video I posted after the Dynamo won the game, and it was Miley Cyrus, rocking and swinging on the wrecking ball.
Yes, I did. Yes.
That was a pretty good video. She might have done that for us. She might have been Diesel. I don't know. But, I mean, you saw it. That's not edit. That wasn't like green screen right there. She was there. Don't ask me how it happened. Don't ask me how it happened, right? But I've been waiting a long time to play that video. Been holding that back in the vault. But hey, we look forward to more of those, especially on the Dash side of things. But this is the Dash Dispatch, and we're gonna throw our H's up. We're gonna go beyond, and we're gonna take y'all to space.